Illinois Governor JB Pritzker called on Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Kristi Noem to stop the ICE raids in Illinois over the Halloween holiday so that kids in Illinois can go out and trick or treat without being afraid of having their parents ripped away from them and deported. Now, stick around after JB Pritzker's speech because we're going to watch Kristi Noem's response and then break it all down.
Good morning. For nearly 2 months, I've repeatedly come before you to provide details about the extent of the chaos and abuse and violence that Donald Trump, ICE, and the Border Patrol have inflicted on the people of Illinois. It is now happening at a pace and at a scale that is wider and more intense than it was in previous weeks. It's important that all Illinoisans, in fact, all patriotic Americans, recognize what is happening here in our state, because we cannot let this become normalized. We cannot let the Trump administration's unlawful behavior or abuse of power slip through the cracks. Our Chicagoland neighborhoods are being bombarded with tear gas, invaded by unidentified masked men in unmarked vehicles, thugs who are intimidating workers and children and grandparents, most of whom are black or brown, most of whom have committed no offense at all. That is why I established the Illinois Accountability Commission to gather evidence, video, documents, testimony, to make a record of the abuses in the hopes that they will dissuade the abusers, give courts and decision makers reason to intervene, and spur peaceful response to the invasion we are experiencing. That is why I'm here again today, to continue shining a light on this for people across Illinois and across the nation. Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Kristi Noem have said they want to target the worst of the worst. They have not done that. Far from it. They have targeted families and children, burrito vendors, landscapers, delivery drivers, nannies, U.S. citizens, legal residents, and longtime Chicagoans, people who have never broken the law. Just over the last week, we've seen even more of ICE's and CBP's awful behavior, the kind that will leave a lasting imprint on a neighborhood full of children and families, on our communities, on our democracy. When Kristi Noem says they're removing the worst of the worst, we all wish that is what they were doing. Please, when you find dangerous criminals, remove them. Let's all work together, federal and state law enforcement, to arrest the bad guys. But instead, it's become obvious that some of these federal agents and the people in charge of them, well, they are the people that our families should be afraid of. On Saturday in Chicago's Old Irving Park neighborhood, the sun was shining and the community was preparing for their annual kids' Halloween parade. The families in Old Irving Park take Halloween very seriously. Houses are decked out with decorations, candy buckets are full, and kids come from all over the city to trick or treat there. But this year, the parade was interrupted and then canceled, not because of rain, but because of tear gas. Federal agents swarmed into the neighborhood not with a criminal target in their sights, but just because Old Irving Park was the next neighborhood on their list to terrorize. Witnesses say the agents swept in, donning automatic weapons, pushed elderly people to the ground, and blasted the area with tear gas. They ended up detaining 3 people. None of them had done anything wrong. 2 of them were U.S. citizens. It had been a beautiful fall morning with children and families getting ready to march in the long-anticipated Halloween parade. So imagine it. Children who woke up that morning expectant with joy and excitement to put on their costumes and celebrate with their neighbors in what they thought was a safe place at their homes. Armed, masked agents terrorizing innocent people, especially children, is unconscionable. Under the color of law, invading peaceful neighborhoods, no criminal targets. This wasn't happening before the Trump administration. Now, U.S. federal law enforcement attacking good and decent people unprovoked with no explanation. So don't believe it when they tell you that they're busting the worst of the worst gangs or gang members. They're attacking peaceful neighborhoods and terrorizing kids in Halloween parades. Children across the city are being traumatized. Their parents are being taken from them. Families are being ripped apart, sometimes in the most heartbreaking of circumstances. Take, for example, Ruben Torres Maldonado. He is a hardworking painter and a renovator, and the father of 2 young children, including a 4-year-old son and a daughter, Ophelia, who is battling stage 4 cancer. Federal agents illegally took Ruben into custody while he was at work. He has been ordered to be released, but now he can no longer provide for his family when they need him the most. Again, remember, they keep telling us they're targeting the worst of the worst. Instead, this is a father taken away from his daughter who is fighting cancer. The cruelty of families being torn apart. More and more, that's the effect of the tactics of ICE and CBP. We've seen a lot of egregious behavior, and I want you to hear directly from one family that has been devastated by what they're doing.
This video quickly spread across social media. A teenage girl on the side of the road shielding her younger siblings as ICE agents arrest their parents and older brother after a traffic stop in September.
Your brother, is he a citizen?
We don't answer questions. That's all I could say. No other words came out of my mouth. I was not prepared for that.
19-year-olds Juditzi Enciso and her 22-year-old brother Moises Jr. speaking publicly for the first time about that viral moment that they say turned their lives upside down.
My heart was just, it kept pounding. My legs, my hands kept shaking.
She says she was only able to hold it together for her 12-year-old sister and her little brother, who was turning 10 that day.
I didn't want them to see me crying because that was going to affect them more.
Yeah.
So I just had to make sure they were calm. It's okay. We're going to be okay.
Moises Jr. says that morning he went with his parents to pick up supplies at Home Depot before the family's birthday celebration when they were pulled over for allegedly making an illegal U-turn. He repulsed 3 ICE vehicles, blocking them in, and agents surrounding their car, demanding to see their IDs.
And they just kept asking me these questions, and my dad kept looking back at me and to make sure I answered what should I do, and I was kind of like also panicking.
Juditzi and Moises Jr. both are awaiting approval for deferred action for childhood arrival status, or DACA. Their siblings are U.S. citizens. According to DHS, their parents, Constantina Ramirez and Moises Enciso Sr., are undocumented Mexican immigrants. They have lived in Cicero, a suburb outside of Chicago, for nearly 20 years, the family attorney told CNN. They are now being held in separate detention centers.
And I remember that first night, the first thing I wanted to do was sleep in my mom and dad's bed because it felt like if I was sleeping there, I had like a part of them.
That night marked the beginning of a new reality, one where they were suddenly left to care for their younger siblings.
They haven't been doing good. They're always saying that they miss them whenever we're like about to eat and like, oh, they have flashbacks about my mom and dad. Oh, remember mom and dad this, and they just like go quiet. It's sad.
What would it mean for your family if they were to go there?
They try not to think about it.
What? Oh, it's hard.
We don't know. We don't know if my siblings can stay here with us. Like, we don't know if they have to go to Mexico. There's just a lot of like insecurity or uncertainty that we just.
According to DHS, if the parents have a valid claim, it will be heard by the judge. If not, they will be subject to removal. Their children say they'll keep fighting until their family is together again.
A good person.
See, I'm not friends. There's hardworking people who, I don't know, I consider my parents were best friends, and now they're gonna be there for me and support me.
Hardworking and law-abiding but undocumented parents snatched away from their children. The children left at the side of the road. Is this what Kristi Noem and Donald Trump mean when they say the worst of the worst? Thank God the younger children, a 12-year-old girl and 10-year-old boy, had their big brother and sister there to protect them. In this situation, I want to ask everyone, who is the worst of the worst? And this is just one family. Every day there are countless stories of fathers and mothers being pulled away from their children, not being told where or when they'll see each other again. When they say they're taking away the worst of the worst, they've demonstrated over and over that that's simply not true. The Department of Homeland Security claims their highest priority is to protect children. So today I have to ask them, please live up to those ideals. I've sent a letter to Kristi Noem and to the Department of Homeland Security leadership asking them to pause all of their federal agent operations for the entirety of the Halloween weekend. I'm asking for basic human decency. I think their response will be revealing. They've disrupted everything for more than 2 months already. Give the children and the families of Illinois a break. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, show us this is about something other than you just causing mayhem on our streets and visiting cruelty upon our people. And after Halloween, if you want to actually go after the worst of the worst, work with our local law enforcement to help us go after violent criminals. Instead, you are targeting innocent children and families, black and brown people, U.S. citizens, hardworking parents. In essence, you are targeting all of us. It's un-American, and we cannot stand for this. I will not stand for this. I want to now speak directly to Greg Bovino. Mr. Bovino, your operation has sown fear and division and chaos among law-abiding residents in our communities. If you are unwilling to cease operations and leave our city, can we at least agree that our children should not be victims, especially on Halloween? Can we agree that there is no imminent threat that should disrupt their holiday? No child in America should have to go trick-or-treating in fear that they might be confronted with armed federal agents and have to inhale tear gas. I honestly can't even believe that I have to make this plea. This is not the America that I know. I ask you to restore some sanity for the sake of our children.
JB Pritzker saying there that Kristi Noem's response to his plead to stop ICE raids over Halloween is going to be very revealing. And sure enough, within a couple hours of Pritzker's speech, Noem goes on to Fox News, her safe space, and tells Pritzker that she's not going to listen to him.
I want to play out some sound from the Illinois Governor, Pritzker, who mentioned you by name and is saying that in the city of Chicago, where ICE continues to carry out these arrests, and ICE officers, by the way, continue to be targets of those on the left, Pritzker is making the case that the ICE agents on the ground are going after legal citizens, longtime Chicago residents. Here he is taking you on. Listen.
Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Kristi Noem have said they want to target the worst of the worst. They have not done that. They're attacking peaceful neighborhoods and terrorizing kids in Halloween parades.
Madam Secretary, care to respond to the governor?
He's just not telling the truth. He's lying, and it's hard to fight constant lies and attacks from this governor, but we will constantly stand up for the truth and for those people that live in those neighborhoods who want peace, they want safety, and they want these criminals out. Every day we're on the streets of Chicago arresting people who have committed murders, rapists, those who are trafficking drugs and have been, victimizing that city for years. We finally have a president in the White House who wants to make this a safe environment for every single American citizen. And no matter what Governor Pritzker says, we're going to do our job. We're going to protect the people of Chicago. We're going to do our operations, and we're going to defend our laws, because that's what America is about. This isn't about him. It's not about me, and it's not about President Trump. President Trump gets up every single day and recognizes that the fight that he's having today is for our next generation of Americans. It's for our kids. It's for our grandkids. What we do today is going to have a ripple effect for them, and that's why we show up and make sure that we're enforcing our laws, because they matter. And if Governor Pritzker doesn't like them, he can go change them. He can go be an advocate and convince people that he's right. He doesn't do that. Instead, he goes on TV and attacks people, and that certainly is not going to get him the results that he's hoping for, which is more power in a bigger office someday. He's focused on himself. Every day we get up and just fight for the American people.
Kristi Noem's response there was so pathetic, just full of lies. She says JB Pritzker was attacking her. When we heard it, all Pritzker was doing was say, hey, can you show some human decency and let these kids be kids on Halloween? Kristi Noem says, oh, that's an attack. How dare you not let me just go in and tear gas their communities whenever the hell I want to and destroy these families, which Kristi Noem there. Notice how she ended by saying that it was all about the children of America and their futures. Yeah, as long as they're white, as long as they vote red. But as soon as those children are in blue states, or perhaps maybe black or brown, well, we'll rip your parents away from you. We don't care. We don't care about you. What else did she say here? She says Pritzker was lying when Pritzker has like video evidence of the people and the lives that were being impacted. She says Pritzker only cares about himself when literally Pritzker is talking about the children being able to celebrate the Halloween holiday, standing up for the kids in his communities. And again, that Trump is doing this for the future. No. Trump is doing this for today. Trump is doing this for political power. And it is pathetic and it is disgusting. Let me know what your reflections are in the comments down below. And be sure to subscribe to Reflect Politics so you get my future videos delivered straight to you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and leaving your reflections in the comments. My name is Brendan Plank. I will see you in the next video.